When you choose softness in a world that chooses control, you become untouchable.
Soft doesn't mean silent, it means secure. Hey babes,
I'm Madeline.
and I'm Deja.
And welcome back to the Elegance Exchange. So today we are really going to be talking about embracing your softer side and embracing your feminine side, because truthfully it's so important. And I don't know, I feel like it's almost, we're kind of taught to present a little bit more in our masculine now more than ever, which is, there's a time and a place, right? But I think that embracing your feminine side is also such a magical and just, I don't know, it's something good to embrace.
It makes you feel better about yourself, and then, you're also more confident within yourself wherever you go. So maybe your workplace or even like your school. It just creates an also better environment for you.
Exactly, and to other people. Having a feminine side is a very good thing. So let's talk about how femininity isn't a weakness, because truthfully it's not, right? A lot of the times we see super feminine women as either submissive or incapable and dependent, but that's so far from the truth. Feminine women are nurturing, they're inquisitive, and they're graceful. There's an aura about them that other people don't have whenever they don't embrace their feminine. And I don't know, there's nothing better than going up to a woman and knowing that she's got that like feminine side to her, and she's gonna nurture you, and she's gonna be there for you, and she's gonna be like, no sweetie, like it's okay, like you got this, you're gonna make it through the day, or you've got that task, there's nothing better. And so just embracing that feminine side is so important, and just recognizing that it's not a weakness. Because I fell victim for it. I thought that being a little bit more feminine made you a little weaker, but that's not the truth at all.
Which brings us to our next point. Your masculine side and your feminine side, they don't have to compete with each other. If anything, they complement each other.
Precisely. You have your masculine side for those days when you need to be a little bit more direct. You need to be a little bit more on the ball and be like, hey guys, we gotta get this, this, and this done. And then you have your more feminine side to kind of go with that and be like, okay, we have to get this, this, and this done, but I totally understand how your emotions are playing into it, and how, we need to do this from a more nurturing aspect than a super hard on the ball, you have to get this done, do it my way or no way. I feel like you can have both sides, but they come together, and then they create this perfect equality.
So your feminine side, it's also more for like more of that compassionate side, more of like understanding like your feeling wise, whereas your masculinity side is more like, okay, we need time to take action, and we need to start doing stuff. But you can still take action and do all these things while still be understanding of other people or even yourself. And if anything, like we said, you need both of them to grow as a person. You need that masculine side, that direct action side, and then you need your feminine compassion and nurturing side.
Precisely. And it does not mean, and we are not saying here that women are emotional and that men aren't. That's not what we're saying, okay? Because that's so far from the truth. But we are saying that you have to embrace both sides of yourself, and everybody, no matter who they are, is going to have a feminine side and a masculine side. Even if you're a guy, even if you're a girl, even if you're anything else, you're always going to have that side of you. And so coming to know as a woman that you can embrace that side, and you don't have to shun away from it, as sometimes we try to do just to fit into society or to make us seem strong and tough. You don't have to do that in order to be successful. And being soft also does not mean that you are a people pleaser, because that definitely gets misconstrued. So no, you do not need to be a people pleaser.
Being soft doesn't mean you have to be a people pleaser. Just because you're soft, it doesn't mean that you can't put your foot down and say, hey, we can't do this. You can still make boundaries while still being, soft and delicate about it. Like, you don't have to be like, we can't do this, 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 and this. You can still just be like, okay, hey, we're not gonna do this. We're gonna do this instead, and then you handle it with grace.
Precisely. You don't have to go into a situation and be so just arrogant and so straightforward and hard. That's not productive half the time. So being soft is just, like Deja was saying, handle it with a little bit more grace, a little bit more nurturing. If somebody is asking you in work to complete a task that you know is not your responsibility, and you know that you do not need to do that, instead of being like, no, I'm not doing that because that's not my job, you're stupid, like, we're not doing that, you can be like, no, I'm not going to do that because it doesn't align with my time schedule and it doesn't go with my role as whatever, you are. But I really appreciate you coming to me and mentioning that to me. I can definitely see how you might be overwhelmed. We might be able to come to a solution about it, but I can't all do it myself. See how much different that is? It sets a different tone. And it makes them still feel like they can come to you and still talk to you, but you're not diminishing them and you're not being so hard on them where you're so masculine and you have so much masculinity that you have nothing balancing it out. But you're still setting your boundaries. You don't have to be submissive. We're never, ever, ever saying to be submissive to somebody or something. You just need to find a balance. Think of your favorite Disney princesses. I'm sure Daisha has one. I have one as well. But somehow, some way, they balance that feminine and masculine side so perfectly. So, like, what's your favorite Disney princess?
Oh, no, most definitely Mulan.
Oh,
Mulan's
yeah,
a crazy
that's a
girl
good one.
boss. She, like, the thing with Mulan is that she still has that feminine side where she's very, like, she still cares about her family, and she, entered the wars to prevent her dad from joining because she knew that he wouldn't be able to. So, but then that's also where her masculine side comes in, because she's like, okay, well, I have to join this war, and then I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that, I'll make it back home to my family.
Right, whereas mine was Belle. She's a super, super inquisitive girl. She's so smart and intelligent, but she stands up for what she believes. She goes head to head with the Beast in the beginning, and she's like, no, you're taking, like, no, we're not doing this. And she stands up for what she believes. She puts her beliefs out there, and she sets her boundaries, and she makes it known. But she still has that soft feminine side of her that can show compassion and love when needed. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. Merida is also she is another really, like, strong, independent woman, and she still even has her feminine side, So just look at your favorite princesses, or maybe you have a favorite Barbie, or I don't know, just anything that's feminine. I guarantee you there's going to be that blend of feminine and masculine, and it's so important to have.
Which is what, like, corresponds everything together. Like, those are perfect examples of that balance that you need. Like, you can still be soft, you can still be compassionate, you can still be nurturing towards those around you, but then you can also take action when you need to be. And so those are those two qualities that you need to grow as a person.
Right. It showcases strong compassion and diplomacy and intelligence while still keeping that feminine and light nature. And that's so important. So with that being said, this is a shorter episode. We are on a bunch of different social media platforms.
We're on TikTok, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, and we now are on Instagram Threads. So if you haven't caught us on any of those, you'll definitely catch us anywhere. And so you guys should definitely go and comment, because we love seeing your guys' responses and maybe even some recommended episode ideas for the future.
Yeah, we really truthfully do love seeing what you guys come up with and if we are helping you. And so there is all of those social media links down below, and then there's also another related video to this. And then there's going to be 2 videos here in our subscribe button, so definitely make sure to check us out. All right, we love you. Bye, babes.